Hello guys, I didn't exactly know how to title this video, but basically I'm just gonna discuss some of the dumbest and most absurd K-pop opinions I've come across. I've heard people saying these things many times, which led me to believe you all are just chronically online and seriously need to go out and touch some grass. So with that being said, let's see what these opinions are. If you point out the double standards, that means you want my faves to also get hate. Okay, so you know when a group or an idol does something and everybody is okay with it, but when someone else does it, it's suddenly a problem. Well, sometimes the double standards are so evident you can't help but pointing them out, talking about how different K-pop stans react to the same exact situation when it comes to two different groups. But you best believe that some people are gonna take this as a personal attack, acting as if pointing out double standards meant that you wanna see their faves getting hated on. And I'm sorry, but you all are literally stupid as hell, or at least you're pretending to be, because there's no way you can twist the situation to make your faves look like the victims. If I complain about a certain idol getting hate for something while another idol gets praised for it, it absolutely doesn't mean I want the other idol to also receive hate. What I want is for nobody to receive hate at all, and pointing out the double standards is not an attack to the idol that always gets praise. But some of you are so chronically online you have the reading comprehension of a 5-year-old kid, or like I said, maybe you're just playing dumb because it's more convenient. Men who stan girl groups are creeps. There's this misconception that men cannot possibly stan an artist without being sexually attracted to them. I'm a girl, and I can assure you I've seen so many girls acting even creepier than men when it comes to stanning groups. I find it so hypocritical how some girls judge men who are attracted to girl groups they stan, as if some women weren't literally drooling over male idols. Not to mention everything depends on the way you stan these groups. If a man stans a group with minors, it doesn't necessarily mean he's a creep and has weird intentions. As much as a woman stanning a boy group with minors doesn't mean she's a predator. But you never see female stans getting called out for that. You don't say anything if you see a female stan literally thirsting over an underage male idol. But a guy stanning new jeans is where you draw the line. Also, some people aren't even into groups the way you might think they are. Lots of people are there for the music and the performances alone, and maybe they don't even care about the members per se. But even if a male stan enjoyed watching variety content, it doesn't mean he's doing something wrong. You can like an idol as if they were your friend or like a little sibling. Not everyone is constantly thinking about fucking them, and if you think they are, maybe that's because you do it yourself, and you're just projecting. Skinny idols are promoting eating disorders. Okay, listen, this is a touchy subject, but hear me out. We can all agree that the K-pop industry and Korea as a whole can be pretty fat-phobic environments. Being skinny is glorified by the industry and idols are pressured to remain thin, so I'm not gonna deny that the industry is promoting eating disorders, but I don't think it makes sense to accuse skinny idols of promoting them. They are skinny because they either diet or because they are naturally skinny, but the thing is, they are victims too. They are not the bad guys in this situation. Unless an idol is being vocal about dieting and is telling their fans they shouldn't eat, then they are not promoting eating disorders. They are simply just existing. And I know that some stans are gonna take them as an example and are maybe gonna start crazy diets. But again, this isn't the idol's fault if they never encourage their fans. Most idols, even very skinny ones, have always told their fans they should eat, that they shouldn't diet and shouldn't skip their meals. They know the industry expects them to look a certain way, but they know this is not right and they don't encourage their fans. On the other hand, there are some idols who do encourage their fans, and I feel like it's right to call them out for promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. But if an idol just happens to be skinny and they've never glorified their weight, then it's completely stupid to attack them for simply existing. You can't vote for minors on survival shows. Okay, listen, I do believe it's better if people who are too young didn't debut as K-pop idols. And I also believe there are so many trainees above 18 who are extremely talented and deserve to debut. But I don't know how I feel about K-pop stans imposing this sort of rule and saying you can't vote for a minor in a survival show. First of all, I feel like we should differentiate 14-year-olds and 17-year-olds, for example. Both are minors, but it's not the same thing. Debuting someone who's 16 or 17 is pretty different than allowing a 14-year-old or someone even younger to become an idol. Second of all, sometimes there can be younger trainees who are objectively more skilled and more charismatic compared to the older ones, and in that case, I don't know how fair it would be to vote for someone who is not as good instead of voting for those who deserve it more. If I see there is a trainee who's way too young, I'm not gonna vote for them. But at a certain point, when the show nears the final and there aren't many trainees left, I'm just gonna vote for those who in my opinion deserve to debut. And if the most charismatic contestant just so happens to be a minor, I don't think it's wrong voting for them, unless they're literally 14 or something. If you personally don't ever want to vote for anyone who's under 18, then that's your choice. But I don't think it's right to harass people who vote for minors. Keep in mind that some K-pop stans don't even care about minors debuting, and if some minors are on a show, someone is obviously gonna vote for them sooner or later and there's nothing you can do about it. You only bias the most popular member because you're superficial. People tend to act as if you were superficial and didn't actually care about a group if you bias the most popular member, and they will be even more convinced of that if they see you biasing the most popular member in other groups as well. These people give off not like other girls vibes, because it's like they're biasing the most underrated member just to make themselves look more like real stans. There is absolutely no problem in standing the most popular people in groups you stan. Maybe you just like their personalities more. Maybe you are just really impressed by their talents and stage presence and that's why you stan them, not because they are the most popular. But then again, even if you stan the most popular member because they are the only ones you are familiar with, that's totally fine. Stanning groups requires a lot of time and energy. You cannot get into every single group. You will follow some groups more casually and you will most likely only be familiar with the most known members. I just think this is such a non-issue and K-pop stan shouldn't be turning it into one. You can't only listen to K-pop. I personally listen to many different genres, but I don't think there's anything wrong if a person only listens to K-pop. It's no different than English-speaking people only listening to songs in English. Not to mention K-pop isn't even a music genre. It actually includes many different genres and there's always something for everyone. I couldn't care less if a person only listens to K-pop songs. Obviously, as long as they are not being weird and claiming K-pop is superior to other genres, because that's bullshit. But for real, why do y'all care so much about what people like listening to? It's none of your business. Okay guys, these were some absurd opinions I've heard K-pop stans throwing around pretty often. I just feel like some people are chronically online and they've lost all common sense, so they just be saying the dumbest things. Let me know if there's any K-pop opinion that you also find absurd if you want. Thank you for watching till the end. Bye.